Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this channel named Geeks for Geek School. So, this is what we guys were working on yesterday, and we are going to work on this same game today also. So, this is part two of this Pong game, right? 3D Pong game, and for this, we are using this Orsina engine, as you guys know very well. Let me first show you the output which this code is going to give us. So I'm running this code and let's see what we will get as an output. So the students who are new on this channel, let me tell you, you can find the first part of this Pong game, 3D Pong game, uh, on this channel, Geeks for Geek School. So I shooted it yesterday. So you can check out the tutorial if you don't know about this Ursina and this coding thing which I have defined over here on this Sublime Text platform. So today I am going to shoot the second part and I'm going to tell you some more things about this game, how you can add some more features to this beautiful Pong game. So, with the help of the A and D keyboard keys, I can move the player A's paddle like this in both the direction along x-axis. Similarly, if I have to move this player B's paddle, I can make use of the direction keys. So that's how I can move it in both the directions along the x-axis. Right. So this is what we have defined the code for yesterday in this coding workspace, and I am using right now this Sublime Text platform, and it is Sublime Text 3.0 which I am using. Fine. Besides that, we defined the code for this table also, this green table which you are able to see in the center of this display window. We defined the code for getting this white line and also this red ball over here in the center of the table. Right. Now, let's close the window and let's now do one thing. Let's add a code with the help of which we can make the red ball move on the table. So for that, we'll have to come down and right after this point, where we have defined this balls code. So we can define two variables. Let's have a variable with name dx, and I'm assigning it this value 0.1. Let's have another variable dz, and I am assigning it this value 0.2. Right. To make it globally accessible, we can simply declare both the variables over here. So these are now globally accessible variables, right? We can use these two variables outside this update function also. It should be global. The spelling is not correct. Yeah, now it is perfectly fine. Okay, now what we can do in order to make the ball move, we can come down over here in this update function. So this update function is going to update our game for every frame which will get created automatically, right? I've already told you about this thing. So what we can do in order to see the ball moving, we can first pass some value to this ball.x. So this is the attribute which is going to control the movement of the ball along the x-axis. So I would like the value of this thing to get updated automatically, and it should be different for every frame which will get created automatically. Fine. So I think this is one of the best way we can do it. We can simply add something to this ball.x. So I'm adding time dot dt into x, dt into dx to this ball.x, right? Similarly, we can do the same thing for the ball.z position also, because we want to see it moving along, not only along the x-axis but also along the z-axis. So here I go, I can simply change it to z, right? Simply change all the x's to z's. Fine. Let's now save this code and run this game and see whether we'll be able to get the required output or not. So I am getting an error. Now why is it showing us this error? Okay, I haven't placed a separator in between these two variables, right? That's the reason we are getting this error. I think now if I will run this code, I will be able to get the required output. So we are able to see this red ball moving and it's looking extremely beautiful, right? So that's how you can make the ball move on this board. Okay. Now what I want is if this ball touches these what we call it, the borders, or you can say these lines of this table, it should come back. It should start moving in the opposite direction, or it should bounce back. All right. So how can we do this? So we can use another variable. Let's say that variable is hit info, right? And we can simply make use of this intersects method, right? Ball dot intersects method. So if at any point of time it intersects with any of the table's border, so automatically that particular point's coordinate will come here in this variable hit underscore info. Now if this condition, if hit underscore info dot hit at any point of time becomes true, then what should happen? I would like to now check two things. If this hit underscore info dot entity, right? Because this ball is an entity, right? So if hit underscore info dot entity is equal to this paddle A, means this information which has come in this variable hit info, if this information has come in this variable because the ball has collided with this paddle A, that's what I'm checking here. Whether the ball has collided with paddle A, or hit info dot entity, or if the ball has collided with this paddle B. If any of these conditions is true, then what should happen? The ball should start moving in the opposite direction, right? So that's how we can put a check on the balls, on the collision part. Now I haven't put this check. Earlier I was telling you that I am putting a check on, just a second, let me first resolve this issue. Why am I getting this error? Hit underscore info dot entity, this is perfectly fine. Let me see why it is showing us this error. Invalid syntax. Okay, I need to use double equal to's here. Fine, let me save the code and run it once. So I'm getting the output. Okay, let me run it again. So let me see if the ball will hit the paddle A, what is going to happen. Okay, so we just saw that the ball started moving in the opposite direction. Okay, so it is working perfectly fine. Now we have to define the code for the sides, right? So that the ball at any point of time does not leave this board. I don't want the ball to leave this table at any point of time. So earlier I was telling you that this code is for this thing, that the ball, if it collides with any of these lines of the table, it should bounce back. But it's not for that, it's for the paddles, right? If the ball touches any of these two paddles, it should start moving in the opposite direction. So I'm done with defining the code for that. This is a code which is going to help us in checking the collision in between the ball and the paddles, right? Now let's define another thing here. So if absolute ball dot x, if it is greater than, let's say, zero point 0.4, then what should happen? I would like the ball to start moving along this axis. So if it is dx, then it should become minus dx. Let me show it to you what this code will give us as an output. So if the ball is moving like this, okay, I'll have to run the code again. Sorry. Why this is not working? This is perfectly fine. Dx is smaller than minus dx. Okay. Just hold on for a moment. I'm checking here something. Why is this code not working? Earlier it was working. Let me put this one below this. I hope now I'll be able to get the required output. So if I will, okay, so when this ball touched this line, this border of this table, what happened? It bounced back, fine, in the opposite direction. So that is how you can put a check on the collision which will happen in between the ball and the border of this table. So that's the code with the help of which you can do it very easily. Fine, it's now time for us to define a code with the help of which we can put a check on the score part of both the players. So because it's a two-player game, we'll have to define two different variables. So score A is we are going to use for checking the score of player A, and this second variable score B we're going to use for checking the score of the second player, right? And now we can come up, and the way we have made these two variables globally accessible, we can do the same thing with these variables also, score A and score B, right? Okay, and let's now come down, and here we can put an if loop, if control statement. So if at any point of time this ball dot z is greater than 0.25, what should happen to the score of player B if this happens at any point of time? So the score B, right, the score of player B should get incremented by 1, right? Similarly, besides that, because we want to print this score also on the display window. So for getting the score printed on the display window, we can make use of this function print on screen, right? And let's use this f string here. So player A colon player B is equals to, and then we can define, so the score of player A is going to come in this variable, right? And the score of player B is going to come in this variable, fine. And then if you want to define a specific position, you want to see the code at getting reflected, so you can simply put this position also like the way I am putting it over here. Position is equals to, so I would like to see it right on the top, somewhere on the left side, right? I think that will be a good point where we can see the, what we call it, score. So 0.85, 0.45, and let's define the scale also for the text part. So I would like to have a scale of 2, and for what duration? So I would like to I would like to see the text getting reflected for at least 4 seconds. So that is how you can define everything related to the score part. Fine. And finally, I would like to reset. I would like to reset the whole thing, reset the whole game. So we can make use of this reset function. I think we are good to go now. Let me just check this thing one more time. So player A, player B is equals to then score A colon score B. So we have this position is equal to this, and then we have the scale, duration is also there. This is perfectly fine. Okay, and similarly, I think we can have the way we have defined the code for this score B, we can do the same thing for score A also. Let's do this. So ball dot z is here we'll have to put an opposite sign. So opposite of greater than is smaller than. And here we need to replace the number with 0.65. Let's replace all the b's with a's like this. Right. Now, we haven't defined any function with this name, reset yet. It's not a predefined function. You'll have to define the code for this reset function, right? So what we can do, right on the top, just above this line of code where we have defined this update function, we can have a function named reset, which can help us in resetting the whole game. So on reset, I would like the ball to get reflected at its initial position. So we can simply pass 0 to ball.x, and to this ball.z, we can pass minus 0.2. I think that is going to be a very good idea. Let's now run the game and see whether we are going to get the required output or not. So, okay, perfectly fine. No, it's not working properly. Why it's not giving us the correct output? Now that's what we'll have to see. Were we able to see the code? Were we able to see the score or not? I haven't noticed that. Okay. Let me just leave the ball for now. Okay, we are able to see the code over here, see text over here. It's getting reflected, and it's there for 4 seconds, right? And that's the reason it's not looking good. Let's do one thing. Instead of this 4, we can change it to 3. Okay, or let's change it to 2. I think 2 is also fine. Okay, so we have this game now and we are able to play it. Okay, perfectly fine. So the collisions, the code that we have defined for the collisions, it's working perfectly fine. And the moment the player is leaving the ball, you know what is happening? We are able to see the score here, and we are also able to see the game getting resetted and it's coming back to its initial position. Right, so right now the player A is leaving the ball, and you can see the score of player B is incrementing by 1 every time this player A is leaving the ball. Right, you want me to check the same thing for player B also? Let's do that. So if okay, so it's working perfectly fine, I think. Yeah. Now the last thing which I would like to do is let's make it more interactive. Let's make this game more interactive. I would like to make it more interactive. And what is the best way of making this game more interactive? We can add a sound to this game. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's see if we have any sound in my device on my device which I can use in this game. So I think that is going to give this uh, game some more feel, right? And we'll be the user is going to love this game when he will play it. Python. So I have many sound files over here. Let me just hear this first. I think I had used this in one of my games. Okay, it's not sounding good. Let me check out this shooting game. Okay, I think I have a music file over here. Yes, I have this music file here. Let's do one thing. Let me just copy these two music files, and I'm putting it in the folder in which I have the file. Uh, I have this file named pong.py. So I think it's in this folder pong. Okay. Now let's come on this. What is the name of this file? Let me check that too. I need to see the extension of this file. So it is .mp3 file. And what is the extension of this file? It is a WAV file. And that is great. So what I am doing, I am adding this, adding a code over here where the ball intersects, where I've used the intersects method. So that's the point where I've used this intersects method to check the collision between the ball and the paddles which are there on the table. So here in this if loop, if control statement, I would like to add the code which can help us in playing the audio in the background. So that's the code. So what is the name of the file? It is with name music, right? Music dot wave. Okay, so we can save the changes. And now if I will run the game, let's see what is going to happen. What are we going to get as an output? So we were able to hear the sound in the background, right? We successfully added the sound, and the only thing that you have to remember is this function, is the name of this function, which is audio, which you can use for accessing the sound files, and you can play any sound, right? That too in real time. Let me now check the comments section. If I have anything to answer, definitely I would answer those queries. And thank you very much to all the students who are right now there with me in this lecture. I hope you guys are enjoying this one. Please do not forget to like and share this video in your groups. So as to make this video reach to the maximum students possible, I would like other students also who are right now doing this type of coding, who are right now trying to understand, things related to game development, to come on this channel of mine, and they can also learn these amazingly beautiful things with the help of the tutorials which I am providing on this amazingly interactive channel which is with name Geeks for Geeks School on YouTube. So I am not able to see any comment in the comment section right now. No problem. In case you come across any issue while coding this game, you can let me know whenever you get the time to do so. Right. And if you want to get some coding classes, you can contact me on my number 9891665634. Okay. And before ending this meeting, I would like to tell you some more things. Suppose if you're not liking the color of this display window, so it's orange in color right now. Okay, it's orange in color. If you're not liking the color, you can change it. How you will do it? So that is the code which is actually making the display window uh, go green, go orange, right? This is the one with the help of which the which is making the display of orange color. Now, if you want to change it to something else, suppose you want to change it to pink. So let's do one thing. Let's put pink here and see whether we'll be able to get a pink color display or not. See, now it's looking more beautiful, right? It's looking more beautiful. And similarly, if you want to suppose change the color of the table, okay, so you can come down and where have we defined that color of the table? Okay, so this is the one, table and color is equal to color dot green. You want to have a black color of table, you can go with this black. And now if you will run the game, so that is what you will get to see as an output. It's a black color table. But now the issue is we are not able to see the paddles, right? Because the fore color and the background color are same. So what we can do, we can change the color of the paddle also. So here is a code which is helping us in making the paddle on the table. So you can see here the value I have passed to this color attribute is black. If I'll change it to white, let's see what is going to happen. So now you will see white color paddles over here and the game is now looking more beautiful, isn't it? Right. So, that's how you can make some changes. You can do some experiment with the codes which I have put here, which I have defined here. Try to experiment, do some experiment with these values also. Change these values, then check the output. With the help of doing this, you will be able to understand this Ursina platform in a more better way. If you really want to know about Ursina, if you want to have an in-depth knowledge, if you want to get an in-depth knowledge of Ursina, you will have to experiment with everything I have defined here. It's not like if you will copy if suppose you are copying everything on your, whatever coding platform you're using and you're simply running the code, definitely you will get the output. But if you really want to learn the basics, you really want to create something new, you will have to understand each and every line of code. You need to have the understanding of each and every line of code I have defined over here. And if you know why I have defined these lines over here, it's great if you know about it. But in order to understand them in a more better way, just try to do some experiments on these values I have defined here, right? So I will see you in the next lecture now, which I will shoot tomorrow at the same time, 5:30. Do not forget to like and share this video, and I hope to see you soon in the next lecture also. Please be there with me because we are going to start with something new. Definitely it is going to be related to the Python game development only because we are not yet finished with this Python game development course. So if you want to know how you can create some more, beautiful and interactive games using Python coding, so you can keep following me. I will be shooting some 15 to 16 more lectures on this Python game development. Right. Still, there are 14 to 15 lectures which are, still left to be shooted for Python game development that you will be able to see very soon on this channel. So please do not unsubscribe the channel. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon also so that you can get the notifications of the various events which we schedule on this channel. Right. Thank you very much, all of you, for supporting this channel and also for liking and sharing this video and my previous videos also, which I've shooted on this channel. And if you want to get some more information about Python, if you want to learn the basics of Python, if suppose, there may be students who don't know about Python, who don't know the basics of Python. So what you can do, you can come on my channel with name, which is with name Gaurav Kumar Jain on YouTube. You just have to type Gaurav Kumar Jain in the search box of YouTube. Automatically, right on the top, you will see my channel. Visit the channel, check out the Python tutorials. Right, you will be able to you will come to know about the basics of Python as well as the advanced concepts of Python. Right. So once you will get familiar with those things, definitely you will find all these things which I am showing to you right now very easy. Right. You're going to find them very easy and you will be able to code better games in comparison to my games, the one which I am coding right now in front of you live. Fine. Thank you very much, all of you, and have a great day. Bye bye and happiest.